I'm about to show you 8 really powerful hacks, secret strategies, and pro tips designed and proven to get your Facebook ad performance to look something like this in 2023. If you apply any of what you learn here in this video, you'll put an end once and for all to wasting money and that idea that Facebook ads just don't work. Because they do. And to help me prove that, I reached out to some of the smartest Facebook ad experts I know, Amanda Bond, Adam Erhart, and Salome Shellac, to hear directly from them what's in their 2023 Facebook ads playbook so that you can steal from the best, don't worry, they're totally cool with it, and duplicate their big time results by using what's working amazingly well right now. So between the 4 of us, we've run tens of millions of dollars in Facebook ads. So trust me, this is the stuff that works. And if you stick with me till the end, I'll let you in on my proven start to finish Facebook ad funnel that's perfect for any service-based business out there. So Facebook ads have changed a lot over the past few years. First, we had the adpocalypse with the iOS 14 update, which basically put a stop to being able to track people who've been to our website so that we can retarget them with ads. Thanks, Apple. And this past year, we've seen Facebook problem solve their way toward correcting that. So they've simplified targeting and the objectives you can choose, and they've given us a few brand new options too.
What's working best in Facebook right now?
That's digital marketing expert and fellow YouTuber Adam Erhart, and this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to Facebook ads.
Is really adapting and understanding the changes that have taken place with tracking and privacy and all of the policies around there. So it's like, obviously everybody's familiar, iOS 14 came and just like decimated everybody's tracking. So we've got to understand the rules and then play within them, meaning that we can still do retargeting. We can still build incredibly effective, highly targeted audiences. So essentially the best thing that we've done is start to transition a lot of our custom audiences, say away from email lists and away from website visitors, more to like lead form engagers.
Lead forms, specifically Facebook's new and improved lead form ads. I'm gonna kick this off as my #1 strategy because all 3 of my expert guests were really into lead ads as something that you should be using this year.
Back in, I think it was like 2015, lead ads came onto the scene, and I remember trying them out and dismissing them at first, like years ago.
This is Facebook ads expert Amanda Bond, aka Bond, and she's been featured in places like Forbes, Inc. magazine, you know, no biggie.
I was like, oh my God, these lead ads, like, no thank you. They're not, you have to integrate them with your email autoresponder. There's like a few more steps. You couldn't design the experience to be very cute back then.
They were terrible. Like they were so bad, and we would get like 10-cent leads, but they'd all be garbage.
And so I just dismissed it for years and years. We have tried them again this year, and in one instance, we were able to cut our lead costs from like $50 down to $10 in the first instance.
Facebook did some really good work with the algorithm and with the targeting and with the way that they're sort of delivered and the way that people engage and interact with them. And I think pairing that with the way that people now feel more comfortable sort of using lead ads, they're starting to become really effective.
And then another example, like another angle of creative, we were able to get those leads down to $3 and $4 with lead ads.
So why are lead form ads cheaper than if you were to do it the old way? You know, sending someone back off to your website to fill out a form there.
I think people staying on the platform, Facebook is really enjoying. So they're giving us cheaper impressions. And anyone who clicks over to that form directly on Facebook is retargetable because we're not leaving the platform at all. And you don't even have to set up a landing page anymore. Like you could just do it in Facebook. It took me like 15 minutes from start to finish to get one live. So I'm a big fan of lead ads again.
So I remember the big problem that I used to have with lead ads was that you'd get more people and they would definitely be cheaper, but they were also kind of like they were worse leads. Like they just weren't as likely to convert into customers. So are you saying that's not the case anymore?
No, I mean, we're tracking it pretty solid and they're solid humans coming through, engaging, taking actions on the back end. So we're liking what we're seeing, especially when you go from $50 leads down to $3.
And one way that Facebook's increased the lead quality is by offering us this option when we go to create our lead ad form. So you can either select more volume or you can choose higher intent. If you check that option, there's one more step that leads have to go through if they want to submit their information. So that's going to result in fewer but higher quality leads who are more likely to turn into an actual customer or client. And sure, you can use lead ad forms to have people schedule an appointment or a consultation, but there's actually a better use for them, which brings us to Facebook Ads 2023 pro tip number 2.
And that's building your email list.
This is Salome Shalak. Salome is the owner of Shine and Succeed Facebook Ads Agency and the host of this super helpful podcast, The Shine Show. She spent over $500,000 on Facebook ads in the first half of 2022 alone.
There's no substitute for building your email list. And if you're in a service-based business, that becomes even more important, because when you're making a larger sum of money off of a fewer number of people, having a good, strong email list means you get to help people, you get to teach them, you get to share valuable information with them that sets you up as the authority in your industry, and means the next time you need a new client, you send out an email and say, we have an opening for a client, click here to apply. You are so much more likely to fill that open spot faster than if you are not building your list and not adding value. List building is also fairly affordable. If you think of your marketing budget and you just decide, I'm going to set aside $1,000 a month, and you spend that $1,000 just on list building, you will never regret that. Never, ever.
And there are a few reasons for that. First of all, the way most sales happen is through repeated exposure. So your customers need to see you or hear from your business over and over again before choosing to spend any actual money with you. And yes, you can get that repeated exposure through Facebook alone, but it's harder and much more expensive to do it that way than if you were to pay for the initial Facebook ad that gets people onto your email list and then move the conversation over to email to close the sale. And here's the basics for how this would work. First of all, you'd want to create some kind of lead generator or lead magnet download that your ideal customer would want to get their hands on. So this should promise a result or an outcome, not just information. Things like quick start checklists or curated resource lists or templates, even quizzes work great for this. Then your ad becomes all about selling that. Not your product or paid service, it's all about getting them to hand over their email address in exchange for your lead magnet download. So they fill out the lead form, then email automation takes over delivering it to them. And now you have another email address from someone that you can then send a really short nurture email campaign to, helping them with more of your expert advice, tips, and secrets. And then this would continue on for 3 or 4 emails, and then you can start to actually sell when they already see you as a trusted, helpful authority and are much more likely to actually buy what you're selling them. But it all starts with the right ad, and there's really no better, more cost-effective ad type than my number 3 Facebook ad pro tip for 2023.
Probably no surprise here, but it's going to be video based. Specifically that Reels placement. Facebook Reels, we'll put it on Instagram Reels. Used to be Stories were doing really well. Now Reels ads seem to be doing better.
And the reasons why are pretty clear. Instagram is all in on video right now, specifically on trying to out TikTok with their version Reels. And since they're going so hard in that direction, they're gonna push your Reel ad out to more people for less money than any other type of ad you could run. Not only that, but Reels actually generate 67% more engagement than any other type of Instagram video.
What I like about them is if you can create Instagram Reel, Facebook Reel, whatever Reel, you can then take that and you can put it on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, wherever else you want.
So what should go into the perfect Reels ad? It's not all, dancing and pointing and keeping up with crazy trends, right?
All dancing, all pointing all the time, Wes. That's the secret. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of that either. Obviously, because I can't dance and I can barely point, so that's like out of the question. I think the key is with the Reels ad is it's going to be a more condensed version of your text ad. So where people go wrong is that they don't hook them right away. So if you're going to spend any amount of time, energy, effort, get consulting, get help, whatever, it's going to be that first line, that call out, that hook. Are you this person? Do you have this problem? Does this sound familiar? Are you in this situation? Have you been here before? Something that is going to get them to sort of perk up and listen. Because if you don't get them there, they're gone. I think the next thing is that we really have to watch pacing. So what ends up happening is that when people think of Reels ads or they think of even YouTube videos, they go to the big creators, the dancing, the pointing, the Mr. Beast style, like really, really rapid stuff. And that's not necessarily best ever for most businesses, especially if your audience is 20 years old and up, 30 and up, 40 and up. So we have to watch the pacing. We've got to keep it going, but we don't have to be absolutely spastic with it and hectic. So keep the pacing, keep it going, make sure that it's driving. I like visuals and audible changes simply because they sort of capture people's attention and re-engage them, but you don't need fancy graphics or green screens. You just need to provide value, maybe show something, just sort of keep things moving.
And using the Reels ad placement just so happens to be a perfect fit to use with the lead form objective. So they'd see your Reel ad where you talk about why they need your lead magnet. Maybe they see the 3 results they'll get if they download and use it. So they click on it, and up pops the form where they can opt in for it. They're now on your email list and you know the rest. But my next pro tip comes right from the brilliant mind of Bond, and it's another fantastic way to build up those repeated touch points with your customers that you know are needed to get the eventual sale. And she calls this hack surround sound retargeting.
I'm actually really excited about this right now because we're seeing insane results from 4% click-through rates when the averages are like 0.5% to 20% sales conversion rates on this type of ad, but doing it in a world-building style. So we're not just relying on like one single ad anymore. We are saying, hey, somebody who's taken an action and clicked through to the sales page, let's do this surround sound effect so that they're seeing us over and over again with different creative types so that they're clicking over to the sales page and they're making that purchase transaction. So layering these retargeting ads.
Cool, so this is essentially retargeting your website traffic, but it sounds like what's different about this strategy is you're actually going for a series of ads and each of them, hits on something different. So what are some of the different angles that business owners can take when they're coming up with these surround sound ads?
So what's behind me here on the wall is actually an example sales page of a client of mine. And so what I like to do as somebody who works on the computer all the time is bring it into the analog world. Take that page that we're trying to send traffic to and print it out so that we can see it from top to bottom. And then my process for this is I just read the page from start to finish and I think about what are the different elements of this sales page, right? Like there might be a testimonial over here that we could extract off of that page. We already have the copy for it because it's live either on that sales page or that lead magnet landing page. And then we'll just turn it into an ad.
So the idea here is to get as many different angles or hooks that each speak to a different pain point or benefit or result or social proof and create anywhere from 3 to 10 different ads out of those. And this can work extremely well in the long run. The only downside is that it doesn't necessarily produce great results right away. So they're definitely still worth doing. You just need to be patient to see the results. So what kind of ad can you run in the meantime, possibly alongside those surround sound ads, to also get quick results in the short term?
If you have a local service-based business, I'm really liking click-to-call ads. So it's legitimately like the most basic Google Ads style thing where you put in your phone number and you're optimizing for someone to call your business.
I've never actually used that before, so how do you make an ad like that?
Oh man, this is good. This is so gonna be awesome. It's so easy. It's legitimately, it takes like all of the fancy pants marketing and it throws it out the window. And it's, I call it like the clear offer formula. So it's like we do X for Y so you can Z without W. And I wish it was fancier, but legitimately it's, hey, we have this thing. If you're this person with this problem, we can help you do this. Would you like to call or do this thing? And I promise, I was like, man, 9 times out of 10, that is going to dominate the fanciest, most clever, creative, cute ad you've ever seen. Like just come out of the gate and say, hey, we have this thing. If you're this kind of person, we can help you with this. But I think clarity here, like that's really the secret.
Well, there's no ad that's ever going to get any simpler than that. Okay, I was wrong. Just when I thought that sounded like the simplest, most stripped down ad that could ever possibly work, Amanda came and blew my mind with this one.
Something that I see people doing a lot is trying to make their ads novels, right? Like they want to tell the entire story on the ad itself. But sometimes it can be as easy as a sentence or two with a compelling image, or even without. You can do a Facebook ad for the news feed without an image or a headline in it, with a link, and getting people clicking over to that landing page or sales page.
Yeah, you heard that right. Amanda actually recommends and teaches to her paid students this crazy hack that uses no image, no video, and even no headline at all. And the reason it works is because it actually feels organic in a way that no other ad ever feels. And she actually gets really good click-through rates whenever she uses it.
Yeah, I really like them. I call them stealth ads, where you go to your Facebook page and you create the ad, right? It's going to show up organically the first time. You put in the body copy, you put the link in it. Of course, you want that link to get them over to the sales page or the landing page. But then you can go into Ads Manager using any objective, any targeting, and just say, hey, Facebook, I want to use this existing post from my Facebook page as the ad. And they'll just pull it up with no image and no headline, and it blends right in. It looks like it's just coming from a friend in your newsfeed.
So for any Facebook ad to be successful, you have to have the right offer, the right ad itself, but you also need to put it in front of the right audience. So let's talk about how targeting works best in 2023. Now, Facebook used to want you to get really specific with details of who your most ideal customer would be, but their algorithm is so smart now that you actually don't even want to restrict it from doing what it does best. So how big are the audiences that you're targeting these days?
60 million plus. You know, we used to go very specific, and then we changed that to like 1 or 2 million, and then 10 million, and now we're like the bigger the better, the broader the better. It's broad, open targeting. It's vague targeting. So for me, that means I would run a list building campaign to women between 25 and 65 in the US. And I wouldn't specify anything else, just that. But then in my creative, I would make sure that my ideal customer sees that image and is instantly attracted to it. The hook in my copy, that first important line, that calls them out, speaks to their desires, speaks to their frustrations, so that the creative is doing the work to connect with them.
So we call that ad copy targeting. So obviously you can do the targeting by selecting the audience that you want, but then if we can dog whistle, call them out, say, are you this person? Do you have this problem? They'll naturally select themselves, which will help increase your ROI, and everything gets good.
And what's really good is Facebook starts to take notice of the kinds of people who are clicking and engaging with the ad, and they run that against the thousands of data points they have on all their users, and they start to put a profile together of who they should be showing this ad to for the best results.
You let the algorithm find your people. If you narrow it down too much, you could find yourself in a situation where the algorithm actually has difficulty finding your people.
And there's one more type of ad that you should be running right now that's going to help every other ad you run now or in the future perform way more profitably. So I learned this one from you a couple years ago, and I saw a really big difference in the performance of all my other ads within just a few weeks of running it. So what's this ad, and why does it make such a powerful impact on everything else?
So with engagement being like the love language of Mark Zuckerberg, what do we do when we are new to the platform? So maybe we don't have a large following yet. Or B, when I worked solely in my agency, I was so busy working with clients, I didn't have time for social media. So there's a very simple solution to this, and that is to put $5 a day on running engagement ads. And how that works is you take your best social media post, the one that has gotten the most engagement, And the content of that was, it can't be your cute cat or your cute dog. That's gonna get engagement, but that's not gonna build your business. It has to be something that showcases your brand, that connects with your audience, that makes your audience go, oh, this is my person, right? So you take that ad, that post, and you just turn it into an ad that you optimize for engagement. And what's gonna happen is your $5 a day is going to do that work for you. It's going to put that ad in front of people who already know, like, and trust you, but it's also going to put that ad in front of new people who you're going to find through your $5 a day. So that frees up so much energy for you. And what it does is now you're finding them automatically. They're coming to your Instagram profile or your Facebook page. They're liking things, they're clicking on things. When they start clicking, they start finding your website, they start finding your YouTube channel, they start consuming your content, and now you have engagement. And then you can move them onto your email list using your social media from there. So a simple $5 a day can really kickstart that snowball effect that engagement creates in your business.
Yeah, and that's super important, but there's another reason why you'd want to do this too, right? How do these $5 a day engagement ads help Facebook find your ideal audiences faster and more accurately?
When you start running engagement ads, it will kickstart the activity on your pixel. And as soon as the pixel gets activity, it starts remembering that activity. And that's important for us when we're running other ads, like conversion ads for list building, because when the pixel knows who our ideal customer is, and the pixel knows who is likely to be in our warm audiences, that it feeds that information back to the algorithm. And then when you start running ads, A, your ads are less expensive because you've already started seasoning your pixel, and B, in the long run, you end up paying less for your conversion ads, and you start building up that, I call it account mojo.
Mojo.
If you can build up positive account mojo from the beginning, you'll be so happy that you did that, because it will just start to create that beautiful sweet spot where you just start feeling like your ad account is doing what it should be doing. And that is as a result of pixel seasoning, which comes from engagement.
And that's an ad you should absolutely be running alongside this bonus pro tip, which is my proven Facebook ads funnel that's perfect for you service businesses. It's a strategy that needs its own video to properly lay it all out, and I'll show you the whole thing from start to finish. So click right here to discover the last Facebook ad funnel you'll ever need, complete with guidance on what needs to go into each ad, the best targeting options, how much money you should be spending, and even examples for each. I'll see you there.